keep this in a bit of a rapid fire. We've got a lot of information to try and get across in the next 20 minutes, so I'm going to speed through my bit and then try and get our wonderful panel talking as soon as we can. So obviously thank you all for joining us. Our focus here is talking around supply chain, strength in numbers, working with the local community and how you can really benefit from looking essentially at your doorstep and seeing what's out there. So my name is Sam Maynham, I'm the founder of Connex Portal. If there's anything that you hear today that is of interest to you, then come over and see us on stand L80, kind of that direction, just over the corner there, and we'll all be around for the rest of the day, so you can come chat with us as we go. So, I'm going to do a very quick fire show of hands to everyone listening. I'm then going to quickly introduce the panel. I'm going to give you my top 3 values around networking and connecting with your community, and then we're going to hand over to some questions to the panel. So, show of hands. There's no right or wrong answer here, I'm just interested to see how this goes. So, first question. Raise your hand if your supply chain has ever let you down in any way. So has anyone been late? Anything happened? There's a few, okay. And then opposite to that, raise your hand if you think your supply chain is absolutely perfect and there's never any issues. Okay. And last question, raise your hand if you're part of an existing network, community, trade body, organisation, anything like that. About 50%. Interesting. I hope you've all raised your hands. Right, so I'm going to hand over very quickly to the panel. So I'm going to ask them to briefly introduce themselves, so a name and a one-sentence description who you are, and one word which describes your existing community, your existing network. So, Mark.
Good morning. Mark Wayne, Plus Automation. We're a factory and process automation sensor company. So our headline is we help make sensors. The word I would say is collaboration and fun.
That was 2 words. Hi, I'm Angela Lawler. I work with manufacturers and help them set up a programme of engagement so that they can go into schools and show their local students what an amazing industry we have and all the golden career opportunities there are. And my word would definitely be family.
Hi everyone, my name is Randy and I work for an organisation called Ingenuity. We are a charity and we support skills development specifically within the engineering and agricultural sector. My 2 words would be adding value.
Yeah, hello everybody, I'm Adam Craig, I'm the Managing Director of Team Innovate Growth, and we help businesses innovate and scale up. My one word would be passionate. Hello all, my name is Tom Flood, I'm the founder of a mobile app called Engineers Insight. It's a central platform for the industry. I'm going to be very controversial. My one word is bold.
You can do that, drop me in it. When panel, when you're speaking, can you put the mic right up to your mouth so you can hear? Just as a word of warning. Right, so our role at Connex is essentially to bring together a community of manufacturers. So we're trying to get people engaging, we're trying to get people shouting a little bit around the sector, supporting SMEs, put them into a supporting pool of like minds and get them supporting each other, sharing best practice, and growing the sector in that way. Since doing this, I've been doing this for the last 3 or 4 years, and since starting I've really noticed that there's a real value in building trusting networks, working with people that you really know and you can really ask those honest questions with. So I'm going to start just by giving you my kind of 3 values that I've essentially learned while we've been growing this community. So the first one is the power of local, so looking on your doorsteps, thinking local and seeing who's around you. I'm not saying that you absolutely have to engage your entire supply chain within a mile of your factory. I know that's not feasible and it's not really those local connections and local networks to build that kind of trust and that reliable resource is going to help you further down the line. If one of your other suppliers, there's a lot of you that said you have issues with your supply chain. If one of those lets you down, having someone on your doorstep to bounce ideas on is going to be valuable. The second thing that I'm going to put in here is don't be afraid to ask for help. There's a lot of people that, let's say they're stubborn, they think they're right, they are very much one direction and they will focus on that until they make it work. The chances are those problems that you're facing, there's someone else out there that has gone through exactly the same challenge. And most of the time they will actually be happy to help you as well. So don't be afraid to ask for help, share your problems, share your challenges, and there's a lot of solutions as a group that we can all come up and actually help one another. And the final point from my top three is if it's not right for you, then move on. If you want to fail fast, you want to move on to the next challenge, and we want to see where the right groups are, where the right networks are. There's no harm in trying things out. If they're not the right fit, try something else. And keep moving and keep iterating and keep finding that group that is essentially right for you. All of the organisations, all of the trade bodies, all of these groups should be there to help you. If you don't think they're adding value to your day-to-day, ask them why. Put them on the spot. Say, I need more value, I want this, I want this. And they should, as a trade body, as an organisation to help you, they should be responsive and they should be there to help you ultimately. In my opinion, this supply chain work is so much more than transactional. It should be about building that honesty, that integrity, and building trust between your network and your contacts. And that's essentially the core of what we do at Connex. So as I say, if you want to find out a little bit more about what we're up to and how we're connecting our network, then come and have a chat over at our stand, just over the corner, or scan this lovely little QR code, and that will send an email straight to me, and I'll connect with you there. So, to engage with our panel, I've got a few questions to ask everybody, and we will take it from there. If anyone wants to engage from the audience as well, and has got any comments while we're talking through, let's feel free to raise a hand and we'll get a mic out to you as well. So, I'm going to go in the order that we're sat. So, I'm going to start with Mark, and I'm going to ask you to talk around the power of connected supply chains. So, how can we leverage the power of global networks to essentially optimise efficiency and support the UK manufacturing hub? I know you work globally as well as locally, so I know you've worked in a lot of different styles of supply chains. So how do you leverage that to support the UK manufacturing?
Okay, thanks for that. I guess my history is a lifetime of working with overseas companies supplying into the UK manufacturing industry, and that's what Plus Automation is now. So if I step back a minute from industry looking today's date, it's the 80th anniversary of D-Day, and that was a key moment in trying to reunify the world, overcome the Nazis, get the world back running. So look at D-Day as a monumental moment, but also look at D-Day as the start of a big logistical challenge. How did the UK, how did the Allies supply the troops? So one heck of a logistical challenge, and hopefully if I talk about some examples from my workplace, life is a lot easier for us 7 senses. So if I look at an ordinary, everyday order, we typically sell sensors from a company called Contracts, and they're manufactured in Sri Lanka. We have the complexity of sending them to the UAE, then they're sent from Dubai to Holland, then from Holland to the UK, then into stock, maybe to sit in 2,000 other sensors sat in the UK, or maybe they're sent to customers. This process typically takes 4 weeks. The key issue is our customers don't know, they don't care. They get given industry-leading technology on a sensor that works. We're their local contact, and we manage the complexity of getting it to them. If I could give a different example, rather than a factory automation sensor that might cost £100, I can look at a process sensor. Now we're talking £2,000, £6,000. That sensor is built in Finland, it's calibrated in Finland, and it might be supplied directly to a customer shipped from Finland, but now we're talking £6,000. My answer answer to Sam's question about the combination of local and global is that really I'd encourage people to look for local experts, local people who can help your business concentrate on what you're about, so that you can work on innovating, on designing. And in my case, we're a sensor company that gets the right product and copes with the logistics of the global supply to get you the right price, the right technology to you, and we help you engineer solutions. And I think a lot of the Connex members are that, they're local expertise. So my final request, if you need anything from today, is please go to your network, ask for some recommendations and find some decent suppliers. Maybe be brave enough to make a change, to find some local experts who can leverage the world to give you good products so you can make better products.
Brilliant, thank you very much, Mark. Obviously, with all these speakers, if you've got any follow-up questions and you want to speak around what they do specifically, I've included their QR codes in there, which takes you directly to their LinkedIn pages, so you can connect with them straight away. So, over to Angela, kind of linked to what Mark was saying around essentially the global world is a changing landscape. Things are changing quite dramatically and there are lots of different issues going on. I'm not going to really talk too much about it, but obviously with the global pandemic that we've just been through, a lot of interaction is still carried out online. There's still a lot of these things, there's a lot of social media transactions. How would you go about building genuine connections, and how can you be sure an online transaction essentially is with a trusted person? How do you build trust with people online rather than different things that we're now doing?
I think there's three things really, Sam. Authenticity, engagement and due diligence. So with authenticity, for me, that is really key. I'm quite active on LinkedIn. Sam's Connex portal. It's a little bit like a cross between LinkedIn and Facebook, so there's an opportunity in there. We have a discussion page where we can put relevant information on that might be useful to the members. We also have a what do you need section where we can ask for help. And being authentic on LinkedIn, being authentic within my network, within the Connex network, is really key to building those relationships. And we all repeat the mantra quite often, people buy from people. And if you're not authentic, then you're not going to get that engagement and you're not going to create those relationships that you need. And supply chain is about relationships, it certainly is. One of the great things about Connex Portal is the engagement within there, and the same within LinkedIn as well. But you need to make that engagement relevant. You can't go on there selling and hoping that people will just want to buy from you. By having that engagement, again, you're building your relationships with your supply chain. And obviously, due diligence. Who am I talking to? Who am I connecting with? Can I talk to any of my other connections? Can they recommend this person? Do they know them? Are they a good person to deal with? All of those three things are quite important in creating a good supply chain. And again, within Connex Portal, there's probably about 200 members in there at the moment, from engineers, designers, manufacturing companies, supply chain. We've all got different businesses, and there are some businesses who are competing businesses, but we actually all work together. And this is why I chose the word family when Sam asked us, because for me it is like a family, because I know I can go out to those Connex Portal members and I can ask them, where can I find this? Who can I get to help me with this? And I will get some genuine concern and some honest answers and some real help. And that's so much better than searching on Google, because I don't know what Google's going to show me. I don't know these companies on Google. I know my network within Connex Portal. If I have a bad day, which I did a couple of months ago, I put a post in the discussion tab, but something that was just annoying me quite a bit. But I knew that by putting that post in there, it wouldn't go any further. And I got a lot of of support from the members, giving me ideas, giving me their thoughts, and that really makes a big difference, and that is all about creating those relationships, being authentic and engaging with those people around you who are important to you.
Brilliant, thank you very much. I think you touched on a few interesting things around the non-salesy element, and it is very much a community to help people out, which nicely leads on to our next panelist, so Mandy, where I was going to ask you around the trade show experience and the exhibitions, because there is an active element of shows where people are ultimately looking to sell and they're looking to develop their business. How do you do it different at shows which kind of takes away from that kind of sales experience? Is there anything that you could kind of add to that non-salesy element?
Yeah, absolutely. A quick question there for the audience. How many of you had a plan in place before the event today? So, just a few. So this links to my sort of view on events. I see this as a three-stage process. In my work, I deal with governmental bodies, I deal with SPs, I deal with large employees. Having an engagement strategy is really important. And when I say engagement strategy, it's nothing in a planner, it's just based on things. For example, when I go to an event, I see this as a three-stage process. First is my pre-event planning, so establishing the reason why I'm doing the event. Is it market research? Is it lead generation? Am I selling something? That's really important because that dictates the sort of pitch I'm going to create, which is really important because when you go to an event, the opportunity to engage with stakeholders, you've got a very short span, so you need to be very concise, be very specific, and linking to that point of adding value. Rather than selling yourself, you should add value to your connections, to your network, linking to this point. And the second thing for me is being at events. I mean, how many of us find ourselves in conversations which are completely out of scope? We speak to people which are related to our job, to the project that we're working on. It's not a bad thing, it's great to be networking, but I think the priority, if you have your agenda sort of rigid, is to engage with your focus, the reason why we have the event. So prioritizing those conversations, prioritizing those people that we want to meet. The third bit for me, which is probably the most important, is to think of events, you have great conversations, but what's the takeaway? What's the call to action? And this is where we normally tend to sort of fail because we actively don't follow up with the hope that someone will follow us up or someone will send us an email. So I think being proactive in follow-ups after an event is very, very important. And what also normally tends to do is once I've been to an event, obviously typically starts, so different people will meet, put in a LinkedIn post, tag those people in case they have forgotten that week, I'll be speaking to hundreds of people during the day, but through that LinkedIn post, at least they'll remember that sort of connection made at the event. It's just sort of basic things, not reinventing the wheel. It's just having sort of focus, strategy in place, and ensuring all the work that we've done at the event is being followed up with a clear call to action.
Brilliant, thank you very much. Which actually leads very nicely on to Adam. So we've got 2 minutes left, so we'll speed through this one if we can. Networking techniques. So I know you go to a lot of different networks. You do online, you do in person, you do lots of stuff around your local area. How do you break the ice when you're at a new event? How do you make those connections that you're making, make sure they're valuable, and how do you really spark those engaging conversations?
I think picking up on the previous conversations across the rest of the panelists here is key one from the start before I get into the breaking the ice is having an objective around what you want to get from the network. So set the strategy down like what's been said. The other side of this for me as well is networking. When we think of networking, we generally think face to face and in group. No, it's not. see as you. Okay? So the thing for me around that is that. Again, then the next thing around then, the introduction is you lead in with nice conversation, light conversation, and use the ACA approach. Acknowledge, compliment, ask. So expand on those, that strategy. If you want to know more about that, just look up ACA in everything you do around it.
And over to Tom, very quickly.
Run out of time.
What's your start number?
Question.
Oh no.
4B132. Straight down that way to the last 7 hours.
How do you engage with people?
I thought about this last night. So the word that we keep using is credibility. We're very disruptive. I'm a very disruptive person in an industry that is aged, that doesn't like change. So the biggest thing we can do is build credibility. So we're looking for partners in industry. We're about to announce a partnership with Automate UK in the next couple of weeks. Being a recruiter on our stand. And then Angela's point about authenticity is exactly what I do. So we do a weekly newsletter on LinkedIn where I just talk about my lad school, the crap that I deal with as a first-time founder, the no's that I get regularly, just so when you meet me, you know who I am, just from our LinkedIn profile.
Perfect. Thank you very much. I think that is all we've got time for. I don't know how we did in terms of time, but I think we're there. Do we have time for the Q&A or not? No Q&A allowed. So if you've got any questions or you want to follow up this conversation, come and find us on L80. It's literally behind that bar, being in the middle, and we'll be happy to chat with you all.